It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show!
Hey there, everybody. It's the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name is Thomas Chick, and joining me for this episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey, gang.
Les Webster.
Hello, all.
And Liz Newman.
Hello, everybody.
How are you guys doing?
Ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Woohoo!
Damn, okay then.
Hope everybody's doing okay out there. So what's been going on in your corner of the galaxy?
Well,
Deep subject.
I know. I haven't really done shit.
Make it for last week.
Right?
Yes, please. Holy crap.
You know, I got a bunch of pencils for my birthday.
Pencils.
And colored
Okay.
pencils.
Oh, right.
And I had one of them, and I really didn't think I was going to like them because it was like, man, I don't know. They're not doing what I wanted them to and everything else. Well, I got to a point, and this is going to sound like I'm bragging, and I'm not bragging, but I got to a point with the set of pencils that I was using originally, I'd outgrown them, if that makes sense. Colored pencils will do a thing where it's like a wax bloom, and the cheaper the pencil you're using, the more bloom you're going to get off of it. Well, if you get a lot of that, it's harder to layer up and get your color blended right and everything else because you've got all this wax everywhere. So it's like, I don't know if I'm going to like that, you know. So I pulled these out one more time. So it's like, I will try these because these are actually an oil pencil instead of a wax pencil like Crayolas and your normal school pencils and stuff are. And I don't know, after using them for a while, it was like, huh.
You got the hang of it?
Yeah, I got the hang of it.
Cool.
I'm finding now that some of the colors, because I mean, it's 120 pencils, but there's still some times, like, there's not a lot of browns in there. And it's like, well, how do I need a brown? You know? So I've kind of relearning, because I knew this stuff at one time, but kind of relearning, oh yeah, I can use this with a cream, and I've got the brown I need. So I have more than way too many pencils now because, you know, once you start applying that. But yeah, like I said, it's been kind of neat just relearning those, you know, and I actually think I'm going to like them. I think my next thing I'm going to try is pigmented ink pencils. Now, does that sound crazy? Pigmented ink pencils. But, yeah, they're supposed to be, like, really intense and bold, like a marker, without being a marker, because I'm scared to death of markers.
Well, again, that's a different kind of coloring. I mean, it's a different technique, really.
Yeah, and they're so unforgiving, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What really started me in all this is I had gotten that really nice set of gel pens, and I was getting frustrated with those because you can't really blend with a pen too well. You can kind of layer depending on the kind of pens you're using, but it's pretty much one color kind of thing, you know. Or at least the way I know how to color with those were. So I was getting bored, you know, because it was like I want texture and shading and depth, you know. So I moved to the pencils again. So, but yeah, that's been a lot of fun. I found a place on Etsy because while I'm getting the, while I was getting the hang of my pencils and stuff, I didn't want to draw it's too many pokers in the fire for my ADD brain. So I found a place that does really nice coloring sheets for adults. I didn't know they did that. That's pretty awesome. So.
Yeah, it's kind of become a thing in the last decade or so.
Well, yeah, I've noticed that. Of course, anything you get into, you start Googling and that kind of thing. But I found a Reddit group that does coloring, and I don't know. I like cutesy. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love cutesy stuff, and I will eat that up. But when I color and draw, I don't really do a lot of cutesy, I do, but not like they're doing, like little teddy bears and stuff. Because there's a lady or I assume it's a lady, but she does coloring books called Coco Wayu. And they're cute. I mean, they're really cute, simple drawings, But it seems like in these coloring groups, everything is just flooded with that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, it's cute, but it's a lot of markers and gel pens. And that's just not what I'm into right now.
Right.
And like I said, I love her work. I have a couple of her coloring books too, because it's good if you want to sit down for 10 minutes and color a page, But once you've seen it, and then 30 other people post the same page colored the exact same way, it's like, guys, this isn't.
That's not the kind of coloring group you're looking for, apparently.
No, not at all. But it's the biggest one on Reddit. Well, then someone was like, oh, yeah, this is a trend right now on TikTok. And it was like, fuck. How did I fall into the same trend as freaking TikTok, man? So I don't know if I just picked up my hobby at a bad time again.
No, you just haven't found the right group, that's all.
Yeah, maybe they'll. And
there's got to be groups out there that are a little smaller and maybe a little more artistically inclined.
Yeah. And I'm not a pro by any means at all, but I'm not a beginner either.
Right.
So I'm just trying to find a group that's halfway in between that, who'll forgive me for not having enough color theory. Or I also, I've noticed with these girls, they're like, oh, well, I use this palette generator. And it's like, no, see, I don't do that. I draw what feels good. If yellow is calling to me, I color with yellow. So it's kind of I don't have a palette that I'm going
straight out of the Bob Ross school. Jeez.
Right. Well, that's what I grew up watching.
Right.
And he was never, we're going to use greens today. It's whatever felt good to him, and he did it.
That was what he was always saying when he was doing it.
Yeah. And I'm not selling these, and I'm not sharing these, although I've shared a few with you guys. But, I do it for de-stress, So, and that's definitely worked. I needed something after my sister passed. I was getting in that place where I knew that if I fell too hard, I couldn't get out of there. And I needed something to occupy my mind, So I did. I picked up my pencils again, and when you're coloring, it's just you're worrying about the next color or how this is laying down. I'm not thinking of what I'm missing,
Mm-hmm.
So, but she's in every picture I color, whether it's her initials or, she's in everything I do still. But yeah, and honestly, I know it sounds crazy to people who don't, but if you're going through a hard time, whether it's crayons, colored pencils, chalk, or rock, coloring is a very good stress reliever. Like I said, you definitely take your mind off things, and when you're done, you feel good because you've created something that's pretty. Or hell, ugly. I'm doing a zombie right now, so It doesn't have to be pretty. And that's like life. It doesn't have to be pretty. You just have to do it.
Well, and your first one
So,
doesn't have to be genius either.
right. Well, and like I said,
That's okay.
I don't share these with too many people. So who cares if it's not perfect? You know, it's for you and only you.
Yep.
But yeah. Other than that, have you guys noticed or been paying attention to what's happening in our rock world right now? I think the music scene has gone insane. I kind of fell down that rabbit hole this weekend too, because, like I said, it seemed like one thing would happen, then another thing would happen, and it's like, Jesus, slow down. First, it started off with Linkin Park. You know, Chester Bennington passed away, and probably, I think it was 2016. So it's been a little while. Well, they finally replaced their singer, and I hate see, even that right there makes me feel icky. I hate saying replaced. No one will ever replace him. You know,
They
he's
hired
great.
a new one.
Yeah, but they hired a new girl, and she's kind of controversial. I won't get into that because that's some of her stuff is just ick too. Well, while all this is going down, and of course, like I said, you know, I'm falling down the rabbit holes, watching all the drama of that because his son spoke out, his wife has, you know, spoke out now, and it's just crazy. Well, then you have David Grohl from Nirvana, Foo Fighters. He announced that he has a baby now, but it's not with his wife. So, of course, the internet falls into two sides. Some are very forgiving, and the other side are playing detective to figure out where Foo Fighters were like 9 months ago, to figure out who the baby mama is.
Oh, God.
And, you know, in the announcement he made, he never said this baby was just born.
Right.
You know, this baby could be 2 for all we know, you know. But
The baby could be 12. Who knows?
yeah. One thing that I did find kind of weird is, you know, he's not a politician. He's not a teacher. He's not a coach or anything like that. There was really no reason he had to announce this. My thought, like I said, total opinion here. Do not take it as fact. This is just an opinion. I think he's jumping ahead of something big to make an announcement like that to your fans who have labeled you the good guy, and to, you know, bring that kind of humiliation to my wife and my children. Yeah, I think he's jumping in front of something. And I think it was probably either a story was about to get written about him and they were going to say something about it, or it was the baby mama going, look, you have to continue to give me this amount of money or I'm going to tell people this is your baby. I think it's really something like that because, you know, this announcement was just, hey, by the way, I have a baby and it's not my wife's. Thank you. Love you. You know, that's it. So it was kind of like, wow. So this is a nice guy of rock and roll who's now cheated on his wife and has a baby mama somewhere. And then while all this is going on, my other childhood, Jane's Addiction. Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro, big surprise, wind up getting into a fight. You know, I could be wrong about this because it's been a while since I've had to think about Jane's Addiction. But when Jane's Addiction split and they did Pornos for Pyros, I thought that band broke up because Perry Farrell was a drunk, he was into drugs, and they just couldn't do it anymore. But the big beef was between him and Dave Navarro. Well, Dave Navarro, out of all of the band, has really gone on to make a name for himself. You know, if nothing else, he went on to do, 12 seasons of Ink Masters. So I think, for one, Perry Farrell's ego was shot because I'm the lead singer of this band, you know. And so, yeah, they wind up getting into a fight. When they announced they were getting back together, it was like, this isn't good. They made it to 2 shows, 2, before it blew up in their face. And, yeah, he's saying he couldn't hear, that he has tendinitis in his ears, and he couldn't hear, and the band was playing too loud. And so he had told them a few times it was too loud. And, for one thing, what the hell is Dave Navarro supposed to do? That's an engineer thing. That's what you show up for sound checks for, He has nothing to do with the volume of his guitar. His amps were set at sound check, So if that was the problem, it wasn't Dave's problem. But he went and hit him, which, of course, violence is never the answer to anything. You should never hit somebody because you're angry. And I actually had respect for Dave Navarro because he sat there and continued to play, played in key, and the only thing he said was, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" So
perfectly reasonable question, I think, in the situation.
Right. Because he body checked him first. And then that's when he hauled off and hit him. People are saying he hit him in the face. I don't think he did. I think he punched him in the shoulder. From the videos I've seen, it looks more like a shoulder punch than a face hit. And I'm sorry, I love me some Dave Navarro. I have followed this man for years. He's a diva. If you would have hit him in the face, we would have known about it. We would have known about it, But I think he just punched him in the shoulder. But it took like 4 guys to pull him off the stage. So they ended the show. I think they only had like 2 or 3 songs left of this show. So it wasn't like they, yes, the fans missed out, but they did address it, or didn't address it, but they did come out and say bye. And Perry Farrell didn't, but the other 4 did and everything else. But then after he released their statement, of course, Jane's Addiction is breaking up. Oh, my God, who saw that coming? I'm so shocked, Dave Navarro had posted a thing on his Instagram that was just his guitar flipped over with Jane's Addiction on the back, and it said good night, which fans are taking it, because that's all he said was good night. I think fans are taking that as he's finally shut this door and he's not doing this again. He tried. Same thing happened again. I heard Perry was pretty deep into some wine before he stepped out on stage. So it was kind of like same behaviors. This is old, and not that he's better than that, but he's better than that. Dave Navarro's made his money. He doesn't need this. He was doing it for the fans and the passion, definitely not for the paycheck. I can't say the same thing about Perry Farrell, but yeah, that's over. Like I said, it's like everybody went crazy. And then right before I logged on for our podcast tonight, they said that Diddy was finally arrested. So it's like, Jesus. It's like everybody's hating on the music world right now. Or I should say maybe every dog's finally having their day in the music world now, But I'm still not sure on what I've heard things that he could have been arrested for. But I don't know exactly what he was arrested for this time. But it was the FBI, and they did it a day ahead of schedule, so they must have had something. So yeah, like I said, it's gotten crazy. It's very hard to be in the music world right now.
It's apparently getting harder and harder to cover up all the ludicrous bullshit that's happening. That has been happening forever in the music world. Don't get technical with me.
Yeah, it is, and that's exactly what it is. It's their Jenga tower is finally falling, And of course, Tupac is up there laughing his ass off today. So down there, up there, I don't know, but yeah, he's laughing somewhere. So, but yeah, like I said, it's kind of crazy. That's why I have to plug it. If you're wanting to support your music scene, definitely support your local bands. You're not going to find all the drama and the tea in those that you're finding in these big bands now. And if you need a good band to check out, my son has a band, Earworm, so they play all the time. No fighting, no sound checks.
No bias whatsoever, in fact.
Not at all, yeah. See, it's guys like that you want to see succeed because they would appreciate it more so than like Metallica, who's made their fame, and it's kind of, oh, this is just another show, you know. To these guys, it's like, this is our show. I can't believe this.
Right, they're still doing it for the love.
Yep.
And it's when money gets into it that the music industry gets weird, and
everything
it's
changes.
been weird for a long, long time.
So maybe we're seeing the purge come through. People are finally waking up. Because I think out of all of this tea that I just spilled, one of the comments that have really pissed me off in all of these stories are people are like, well, you know, just because they're not a good person doesn't mean the music's not good. Okay, so you're going to give them a platform to spew their hate because you appreciate the music. People, we got to stop making stupid people famous. You know? Because this is what's happening. And I do believe that if you don't morally agree with something and a singer does, you don't have to support them. You know? You don't have to go out of your way to be mean or boycott, or you just don't have to support them. There's nothing wrong with that, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's a decision that you have to make on your own.
Yep.
That is your choice, and screw anybody who tells you that you're wrong.
Right. It's just weird to me when people know that they're a bad person, but you're still choosing to support them, you know? I know being, you know, in musically and all that other kind of stuff, your art is your heart. That is who you are. So even though it's a good music made by a bad person, that's what they're putting into it, is them, and it's bad. So why would you like that? You know?
Yeah, but
I don't know.
The problem is that a lot of people just don't think about it on that level.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because they are entertained. I'm getting what I want out of this music, and just because some weirdo druggy rapist made it, I don't care. I'm getting entertained by it.
Yeah.
And
they don't realize they're giving that guy money to continue to be a druggie, to continue to be popular, to be a rapist.
People don't want to think about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's like you said, that requires thought, and
and
it requires a conscience, and that's not.
Most people don't have that.
Most people are. I mean, yeah. Well, it's not that most people don't have it. It's that a lot of them choose not to listen to it. A lot of them don't let it bother them. Whether that's good or bad is.
Well, it falls on it doesn't affect me, kind of thing.
Right.
You know.
Right. I'm getting what I need.
Yeah.
I don't care what else happens.
But tomorrow, when it does affect me, then I'll say something after I've given them all my money.
Well, and maybe that day comes and maybe it doesn't.
Yeah.
But most people have trouble thinking beyond tomorrow anyway. I mean, some people have trouble thinking beyond today. No idea this was going to get so philosophical, but whatever.
Today.
See, I prefer yesterday.
Tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the Fellowship the Musical.
It sounds like a good idea to me.
That reminded me of Maynard work.
Oh, man.
Nope, that's all I got.
Cool. Wow. Current events and tea and music and all kinds of fun stuff.
Right?
I'm not topping that. All I watched was a dumb old movie. God.
I should have did that.
I mean, in addition to all the other crap I do, but, well, you know, whatever. So the movie I watched, it's an old movie. Actually, it's another Christopher Lee movie, and it is called, in English, Terror in the Crypt. It is from 1964. It stars Christopher Lee and a whole bunch of Italian people and some Spanish people, in all fairness. And so, admittedly, the version I watched on Tubi is dubbed in English. At least they got Christopher Lee to do his own dubbing. Or maybe he was talking in English when they filmed it. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Maybe they dubbed him into Italian for the Italian release. Couldn't tell you, but it's actually Christopher Lee's voice. So yay.
Yay.
Big win, because, man, it's really weird when it's not. But this is, like I said, this was made in 1964. It is based on the short story Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu, which has been made into just an absolute slew of movies because of, you know, reasons. This is one of them. It is an interesting movie, and it's got some interesting story bits to it. They do a really good job of obscuring the twist. I will say that. I'm not going to go too far into it, but yeah, essentially it's the story. It's kind of written from the perspective of the Count, which is Christopher Lee's character. He is Count Karnstein. And his concern is that an ancestor of his was accused of witchcraft. I found another one of these movies, coincidentally. It was weird. And was put to death, and as she was being put to death, she swore she would return and destroy the family. And so the whole plot in terms of the Count is he's hired a librarian to come in and essentially document all of the stuff that they have in the castle, which has been there for centuries, in an effort to track down a picture or depiction or description even of this ancestor, to figure out if his daughter is this ancestor reborn. And of course, the librarian falls for the daughter, and and a bunch of other stuff happens, and there are some other characters, including a servant who's clearly a Satanist of some sort. And then there's a beggar guy that wanders around, and he has a bad day at some point in this movie. I won't go into too much details about that, but he has a bad day. And then there's a fun, interesting twist at the end, which I thought, like I said, they obscured it well. They played over it to maximize the twist part of it well. Generally speaking, the movie is good. It's not great. It's actually kind of only on the edge of good. It's hard to judge acting performances when you're overdubbing the whole damn movie, because it's just not the same. There are some slow bits to this. It doesn't move all that quickly at times, and I mean, the daughter is a drama queen to begin with, and so it's a little off-putting. I mean, clearly something weird is happening, but she seems to be overreacting a lot. I think that's sort of a staple of Italian horror to a certain degree. So, it's that. But I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's a Christopher Lee movie. He's in it quite a bit and does a pretty good job. And like I said, there's some interesting story bits. So it's worth checking out.
That's pretty good.
Where did you see this?
Tubi.
Tubi.
Yep.
That's become one of my favorite channels now.
I mean, they've got a lot of stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, that's what I did. That's what I'm admitting to, anyway.
Les?
Let's see. For me, I was in Oklahoma City this weekend to celebrate the 70th birthday of a friend of mine. Man that he went to college with me, and he, in fact, was the pastor at our wedding.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And this was the first ceremony he had done. So it meant a lot to us, and it meant a lot to me to go see him.
Yeah.
Cool.
I also picked up a copy of Lee Child's first Reacher book, which was part of the basis for the first Reacher movie, and that is Killing Floor. So I'm kind of excited. I'm ready to start reading this one. And other than a long drive up there and a long drive back, that's about all I have.
That is a long drive.
Yeah, it's a bit of a drive, sure.
About 3.5 hours.
Whew.
Yeah, I actually have that to look forward to myself here in a couple of months.
Oh, you lucky dog.
Yeah. Doing a trip to Norman.
Oh, okay.
Campus tour. My kid. It'll be fun. Better be fun. Jeez. All that driving I gotta do.
Yeah, that's true.
It's an all-day thing.
And I hope it's not on game day.
You're scaring me, because it is a Saturday.
Oh, I don't know if they're home or not, but that makes a difference.
I'll have to look that up. Good to know. I hadn't thought about it. But yeah, cool. About you, Tom?
Well, really don't have too much. Was actually kind of working on the schedule for next year. Start trying to shore some of that up because we're getting closer and closer. So that's about it. Nothing real too fun. So
Nothing wrong with a boring week every now and then. He said, assuming a whole lot.
I do want to point out one thing. Last week, one of my news items was the whole thing of Josh Brolin being approached to play Hal Jordan in his Lantern series.
Like the very next day.
And it's like 22 hours later they came out and he turned down the offer, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was quick. It was quick. It was like noon the next day after we were recording that. And I was like, oh damn, that was fast.
Yeah.
He was like, nope, not doing that.
It's like, okay.
All right.
We'll just move on. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So.
That was quick, and there was no doubt. It was like, nope, that ain't happening. Okay.
So let's go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll come back with this week's discussion. And we're back. It is casting call time again.
Yay!
Yay! For those who are new to the show, what we do is I usually come up with some kind of concept, either a continuation of a show or a movie franchise, and we go from that, or just something totally different. For the most part, they've been kind of comic book related, but every once in a while we'll do a little something different. We'll do just something to have a little fun. And we always enjoy doing these because it's always interesting to see.
It's an interesting psychological test for each of us.
Yeah.
To see how differently our minds work.
Yeah. So for this time, to kind of get us in the groove of getting ready for Halloween and October and all that good stuff.
Spooky season.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
we are turning our attentions to Kolchak The Night Stalker. And if you're not familiar with that, that was a TV series from the 70s starring the late, great Darren McGavin, the old man from Christmas Story. So what we're doing is this is actually going to be a 1994 motion picture. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it. And who would like to go first?
I can go first. I'll show my hand. I've seen the TV series, but not a lot of it. Mm-hmm. But I've seen the movies. So some of these I had to kind of look for because they weren't in the movies. Or if they were minor in the movies. Mm-hmm. So that some of those may be a little off. But I have seen both movies. I did that this weekend. And like I said, I've seen them before too. But I remember the TV series, but barely. I think the movie that I'm most familiar with is Night Stalker. And it was what the TV series spun off from, wasn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Yep. So, okay. So with that being said, like I said, some of my choices may be a little off. For the main
now
person...
that she's done with her disclaimer.
Right. Can't get mad if it sucks, is what I'm saying.
Well, we ain't gonna get mad. We might laugh, but we ain't gonna get mad.
All right. So 1994, my Carl Kolchak, he is our reporter, investigator, main guy of TV series. Mm-hmm. I went with Kurt Russell. I just thought he'd have that kind of gruff that Gavin had, and but could also be a little goofy at times, you know.
Okay.
Not that Gavin was goofy a lot, but you know.
Sounds like you might have rewatched Escape from New York recently or something. But...
or Big Trouble in Little China.
Now, see, that's the goofy for sure, but
Yeah.
The gruff would be Escape.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I could see that. Of course, I like Kurt Russell, so I like both of those movies I just mentioned. So
every time I think of him, I think of that movie Overboard, though. Goldie Hawn.
Never saw it. I've heard about it. I know of it, but I never saw it.
I think that was probably the first thing I did see him in, because it was like 80s or something.
Okay.
Well, no, I take that back. He was an outsider, too, wasn't he? Or no, I'm thinking Swayze. No. Never mind.
Yeah.
No, he's in the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes.
Yeah, there's that one.
With, what was his name? Jerry McConnell, or is that it? Jerry McConnell?
Jerry O'Connell or Jerry Connell?
O'Connell, yeah.
I forget. I think it's Connell.
The Disney guy. The Disney kid.
No, that was what Kurt Russell
was the Disney kid for a while.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's an urban legend saying that when Disney died, the last words he said was Kurt Russell.
He did have his time, you know.
Was he ordering food or something?
Yeah, the phrase in front of that was bring me the living soul of.
Bring me the head of.
Sacrifice for me.
He's going to be frozen next to me.
Anyway, yeah, possibly.
No, you're thinking of The Thing. Never mind.
Yeah, that was later. But anyway, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously.
All right.
If we're riffing that much on it, we like the idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
And I actually, my pick was for similar reasons to what Liz was talking about. And by the way, Liz, don't feel bad if we want disclaimers. I've never seen any of this stuff all the way through. I have seen clips on multiple occasions. I've seen lots of different clips of all of these things, but I've never watched one of the movies all the way through, and I've never seen any of the series. So I had a vague idea who some of these people were, but I had to do some research too. But anyway, my choice in 1994 for a Kolchak reboot is John Goodman.
Okay.
The reason for my snicker is I have him on my list, but not for this role. But
okay.
I can definitely see it. Yeah, I can definitely see it.
Yeah. And like Arachnophobia, John Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Was he in that? I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
I couldn't think of his TV show. That's why I was.
Roseanne?
There you go. Yep.
The Flintstones?
Mm. It's been in a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot, yeah.
Always.
Yeah. What was the one that was the 50s movie thing that was kind of based, you know what I'm talking about, Wes?
This sounds like my wife. You know, that guy that was in that movie with that other guy?
The Thing with the Thing.
Oh, hang on, I'll look it up.
His brain is working so hard to come up with the title of it, he can't actually stop and describe it.
Oh, I forgot he was one of the criminals in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That one, I like that one.
Never saw that.
Yeah, he was the grifter.
Mm-hmm. I forgot he was in so much.
Oh yeah, he's been in a ton of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's even in the Blues Brothers 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. And they credit him for the 80s one.
I will have to I did. So.
Well, no one's mentioned The Big Lebowski.
Dude.
Yeah. Or what was it? King Ralph?
Okay, I went too far.
He was in Monsters, Inc. for crying out loud.
True.
I think he was Mike.
No.
No, he was the other one.
Sully.
Sully.
Yeah.
Yep. The little green one, right?
The little
No.
green one is Mike.
Yep.
The big blue one was Sully.
Yep. Huh. That's pretty cool. I'd buy that for $1.
Uh-huh. Matinee.
That was great.
That was what movie I was thinking of.
Yeah. I enjoyed that movie. Big time.
Okay, Les?
Well, for me, I just went comedy, but with a guy that has done drama too, and that's Tom Hanks. I was just thinking that.
I almost picked him too.
Well, no, I did, so you don't get it.
Yeah, no take backs now.
I saw Kurt Russell and I changed it, but yeah, I think he's got the seriousness for it, because he's a reporter. He's got to be, but yeah, I like that one. Good choice.
Thanks.
Oh, it's a great choice. It's a great choice. Because that's my choice as well.
Okay.
That would I should have liked that.
He was also
That
really
would've
hot in
been
the early
funny.
90s, so yeah.
Yeah. That would have been funny. All three of us picking Tom Hanks.
Well, yeah, because I mean he could walk the comedic and as well as drama, and I mean he is the every man.
Yeah. So versatile. He could do it all.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of the Jimmy Stewart of our age.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he could do it all, and he could do it in drag.
Yep. And then play it out on a big floor piano. Yeah, that's good choices.
All right. Next.
Oh, okay. So
She forgot there was a next.
I was like, damn.
All right, we're good. Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's a great
good
movie.
cast.
Good night, everybody.
Cast one character. We're done.
That's the whole movie right there. All right. The next person we have is the boss. And his name was Tony Vincenzo.
Vincenzo, yeah.
Yep. And this guy, we were kind of talking about him earlier, but I thought in the movies his boss was a complete asshole. I think he was meant to be an asshole, though. So I went with Tom Bergeron. I can't even say his last name.
Bergeron or Behringer?
Behringer.
Okay.
The guy who was in Platoon?
Yes, Behringer.
Yeah, Behringer,
yeah.
How dare those guys have similar names? What the hell?
Right? I was thinking it was the same guy. It was like, no. Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Good
I'm
actor
talking about the
versus
Platoon
game
guy.
show host. Yeah, the Platoon guy was Behringer. Yeah, he's good.
Yep.
Definitely could be an asshole.
Yeah, but
he could.
But I'm sorry. I see him in like The Principal, I think it was, or one of those.
There were several of those in the same
And
time.
and he was also in Major League as the catcher.
Mm-hmm.
He was in The Big Chill as the Hollywood guy.
Yeah.
Hey.
I haven't seen that in forever.
Oh, that was. And let me ask you this: did you folks see it and enjoy it?
The Big Chill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason I ask is I have talked to people younger than me. I know it's true though. And I've talked to people older than me. And those groups don't normally enjoy that movie. It was really aimed at my age group. So they weren't really into it.
Dude, I was 12 when I saw that movie.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it.
Well, that's good to hear.
And it wasn't necessarily, well, the music drew me in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the movie itself was great.
I think so too. I thought it was really solid.
But Mike has an old soul. So,
I do have an old soul, but that's all right.
Yeah. What year did that come out? I don't think I was allowed to watch that.
It was like 80 or 81.
Yeah,
Was
I wasn't allowed to watch
and
that.
I didn't see it when it first released, but it was not long after. It was within a year or two on cable, because cable.
83.
Oh, God. Okay, I was 12 years old then. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, that would have been like full Pentecostal swing at that point. Wasn't allowed to watch that.
I mean, it was a talky drama.
Yeah.
It was not like a horror movie or anything. It was a bunch of people come back to, they gathered. They had been college friends like 10, 15 years before, and they come back for the funeral for their friend who killed himself. And they spend the weekend basically in a big house, kind of getting to know each other again and coping with their friend's suicide. It's not a I mean, it's got some really funny moments in it, but it's not a comedy by any stretch.
Doesn't sound like it, no.
And that was one of the first movies with Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
In kind of an ironic role, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. They didn't actually. They ended up cutting his face out of the movie. They never showed his face.
Yeah.
He was
true.
He was the corpse. The opening, the credit scene, the opening credit scene is a very skillful cut of the funeral attendants prepping the corpse for the funeral.
Yep.
And I say skillful because, like I said, they did not show his face at any time. They showed him brushing his hair without showing his face.
That's cool.
And they did this to the Marvin Gaye version of I Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Yeah.
A lot of the budget of this movie was getting rights to play these songs.
The soundtrack, yeah. It's an impressive cast.
It's an awesome soundtrack. And yes, for the time, it was a very impressive cast. Anyway, Tom Berenger.
Mm-hmm. All righty.
Okay. So my pick for Tony. I was looking for somebody. Yeah, I was looking for somebody a little older and gruff and kind of a no-nonsense guy. I picked Barry Corbin.
That works.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. I'm a Barry Corbin fan, so yeah. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get me to say no to that.
He just said something I was watching recently. And he's always got that shut the hell up kind of attitude.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I like it.
I do too.
He's in Yellowstone. That's what he's in. With Kevin Costner.
There you go.
It all connects.
It does.
I streamed.
6 Degrees.
I don't think Kevin Bacon is in this movie. I didn't cast him anyway.
No, but it's 6 Degrees to Kevin Bacon.
Yep.
So.
Kevin Costner has played with Kevin Bacon in a movie, though.
There you go.
Yep.
Not very many degrees at all, really.
Yep.
Nope.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
Alrighty.
I went with this guy that played a not a heavy, but he was pretty gruff, and that's James Gandolfino.
Oh.
Okay.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Yep.
Mr. Soprano.
I don't know. Y'all may not like my choice. But,
Let us choose, okay?
okay.
Okay.
How about Gene Hackman?
Why the hell would we not like that pick?
I almost picked him for the boss dude.
This is the boss dude.
This is the boss
Oh,
dude.
sorry. I'm looking at my next guy. Yeah, I almost picked him for that too.
Hey, she's reading ahead, guys. We're not going to criticize her for this. This is good.
I'm getting my stuff pulled up.
Yep. But yeah, cool. It's hard to go wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And he's another one that kind of just morphs into whatever he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Popeye Doyle or Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or the priest from Young Frankenstein.
Mm. Cigars. Alrighty, next.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay.
She was ready. But...
I was
She was
off a
ready.
person. I thought that was Les's choice. I didn't hear Thomas's. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Now for the kiss uppy dude. I have him labeled as the kiss uppy coworker. And his name was Ron Updike. And with this one, I was thinking you need kind of someone who's probably a little prissy and pretty boy, kiss uppy, teacher's pet kind of person. So 94, I went with Emilio Estevez, who could be that little annoying guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I could buy that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a slew of people in that from that crowd, that Rat Pack crowd, that could do it well. But yeah, sure, he's as good as any. That'll work.
Yep.
I think so.
Yep.
94 was the year he was splitting up with Paula Abdul, so he'd have some time on his hands.
Straight up.
Yeah. Step forward.
Oh, in the recording, you're going to be able to hear the moment when both Tom and Les instantly have a headache. It's going to be great.
Who'd have thunk it?
All right.
You can feel the face palm.
You can almost hear it, which is good because we're an audio show. So, Ron Updike, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I kind of in the same vein. He's the guy. He's the other guy. He's the other reporter who's kind of ingratiating and maybe not as obviously bright and just doing what he can do. So for this role, I picked. It was weird. He wasn't even on my radar, and I was just looking through some stuff, and I saw his name, and I'm like, that name sounds familiar. And then I looked and saw his face, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the guy, John Deal.
From Miami Vice?
From Miami Vice.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Drove the Bugmobile or whatever?
I don't remember what he drove in Miami Vice. I remember him being the not bright guy in Stripes, also.
Yeah.
Before that. And I get the feeling he's gotten good at playing the heavy also, but that's not what we need him for in 1994. We need him to play the more Weasley guy.
Okay.
Yep.
I like it.
Okay.
I chose somebody that I've always wanted to play something like this so I can just outwardly laugh at him. That's Richard Gere. I can't.
21 Jump Street.
I'm really, really fed up with the guy. And I'm sorry, Pretty Woman was a disaster to me.
I was thinking different guy.
You see,
I think it.
I can't help but think Officer and a Gentleman. And yeah, I'd love to see that guy taken down a notch. I mean, I think that's the character more than the actor, but nobody wanted that guy to win. Well, somebody obviously wanted that guy to win, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to lose as bad as his buddy did, but I didn't want him to win either. And I can imagine, I've never seen Pretty Woman all the way through, but I can imagine it's the same situation. That guy does not deserve what he gets.
I was thinking Richard Grieco.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Totally different guy.
Extremely different.
Yeah.
Boy, I kind of went weird with this one because I was thinking more of someone that you can't stand, and he's done this real well, and I'll just go ahead and say it. I went with Charles Dance.
Oh, damn. Oh, wow. That would be really interesting. I would not have gone Shakespearean with this, but in that time frame, yeah, I could see it. And he would, oh man, he'd eat that shit up too.
Mm-hmm.
He would love it.
As everybody's Googling going, okay, who's this?
I did not know who he was.
Did you see him now?
I see him now. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those, the face.
Mm-hmm.
You know his face,
yeah,
but
it's a look, and he's so good, and would very easily just put the look on his face that would just make the whole thing. He'd hardly have to talk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting.
Alrighty. Next.
All right. Now, this was the TV show one. I don't remember this girl in the movies, but her name was Monique
Marmelstein, probably?
Marmelstein. There we go. And she was the intern, and from what I looked up, everybody kind of thought she got the job because she was a Nepo baby, So I kind of went with someone who, she may have been a little older for the role, but was kind of a bright personality, and I went with Meg Ryan.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
She's pretty good, and this would be like an ideal role for her.
Yep.
Because it would be fun because you could play the Nepo card and then have her turn out to be like really competent.
Yeah.
And Meg Ryan would eat that shit up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's good at serious and being a little funny too.
Right. Yep. Cool. We're pulling out the budgetary stops, but that's cool. It's a movie.
Right.
We're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One shot.
And this is before a lot of these people got super famous anyway, so, it's all good.
Yeah.
True.
Okay.
All right. So I did not go with someone super well known. Most of the people I've named so far are like character actor types anyway, but my tastes tend to run in that direction. But for the intern, I figured we better do somebody young, and it wouldn't hurt if she's cute, and if she can actually act and be funny, so much the better. I went with Julie Bowen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She would have been. This was early in her career for at this time. So, but she's gone on to do quite a bit of stuff since.
Okay.
But
yeah. I remember her from Boston Legal.
Mm-hmm. I think Modern Family is what made her famous.
Yeah.
In the last 10, 15 years, but
Yeah.
Nice choice. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, Monique was quite the character, played by what's her last? Susie is her last name, who was also the voice of Howard's mother on Big Bang Theory.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
I didn't know that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know she had a real familiar face when I looked her up.
Well, you never see Howard's mother on Big Bang Theory.
No, but she's done a lot. She's another one who has that face that you recognize, but you don't know it's her.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first time I saw her face, it was on the
first time ever I saw her face.
Oh, Lord. What have I done?
Keeping it musical.
But I was thinking someone that's fairly short, or you go with long. I had two choices. One is Elizabeth Perkins from Big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the other is Marissa Tomei.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
She's a little firecracker too.
I was scared there for a minute because you were talking about long and short. I was like, what, Shelley Long or Martin Short?
Oh yeah, putting Martin Short in there would be amazing. But
yeah.
It's not like he's never worn a costume. I mean, geez.
All right. Yeah, that works. Definitely.
Yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I went a little older, and it's funny how the term Brat Pack was brought up earlier. Because I went with Ali Sheedy.
Oh, hey.
Ooh.
Cool.
yeah.
Yep.
Like that one too.
Totally.
Cool.
So, all right. So next.
Okay. This guy, I think in the movies was only shown a few times, so I kind of went totally by looks. But it was like, man, to be a morgue informant, you have to kind of have some kind of sense of humor. And so when I think funny in 90s, my mind went straight to Tim Conway. So
Oh, God. Okay.
if we could get him to do the dentist bit in the morgue, that'd be hilarious.
Oh, dear Lord. Why are you making this a comedy? Good Lord.
I mean, death, you kind of have to have that light moment. You know?
I mean, it doesn't hurt.
He would definitely lighten the mood. On screen and off.
On the set, it would, yeah, that would be wild. Especially if you let him ad-lib it all. Oh, my God.
I'm not saying anything negative. I like it. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I know. That would be fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fascinating to watch. In a good way. Totally in a good way.
Maybe he'll bring up the elephant story.
Oh, man. Oh.
See, I should have made the boss Corman. That would have been a hoot of a set.
That's Headley.
Wow. I don't know if I'm prepared for that version of this movie. I don't know if I can handle it.
It'd be like Blackula all over.
There wasn't nothing funny about Blackula either. But that said, yeah, kind of. I wasn't ready for Blackula either. So I did not go that direction with this. Because the deal is, Liz is right. You get one of two personality types when you cast a morgue attendant. You get either that weird sense of humor guy, or you get the dark and brooding weird guy.
Yeah.
I went for the dark and brooding weird guy. I chose Stephen Lang.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
From what was that TV show about the beginning of the mobs in Las Vegas? Crime Story. Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang.
Mm-hmm.
He played the attorney. Played an attorney on that show.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Mid-late 80s, yeah.
Nice choice. I like that.
That is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, Les?
I went with somebody that could do both drama and humor, and tossed in an actor that had his story was somewhat early in the movie about the Four Seasons, and that was Joe Pesci.
Ah.
Yep.
Cool.
And I will say this also. The original actor was John Fielder.
Yes.
And he was magnificent in the movie 12 Angry Men. And I recommend that to anybody and everybody about the jurors in the murder case.
He was good in everything he did.
Oh, yeah. I was really impressed with him.
Cool.
Well, I definitely went down the path of the comedic take of a character. A little bit on older side, but I thought it would be. I don't think there would have been any issue with it, and I don't know. I guess when I was researching, I saw his picture, and I was like, "Oh, why the hell not?" Artie Johnson.
Oh, Lord.
Very interesting.
I like that one too.
Yeah. That's one that I would not have thought of. That's great.
Yep, that's cool.
Okay.
All right. And our last one, we have Captain Mad Dog Siska. I was kind of lost on this one, so I kind of threw this one. I cast his son, so I might as well put him in there too. And I went with Martin Sheen.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. He could do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I don't know.
Throw yours away.
Dog ate mine.
No, I mean, angry police captain. Sure. I mean, it almost feels like a stereotype role. So I figured we're gonna do this 20 years later. Let's fiddle with the script a little bit, fiddle with the character a little bit, and give it to somebody who can be intense without being a stereotype. I picked Michael Parks.
Michael who?
Parks.
Okay.
Yeah. And where I was drawing this from, have you ever seen the Kevin Smith movie Red State?
Yeah.
No.
He plays the cult leader. And I'm not saying that the cop is a cult leader. I'm just saying that's the kind of intensity that this guy can bring.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I like it.
ironically, John Goodman plays the cop in that movie. But anyway, I didn't actually think of that. I picked Goodman long before I thought of Michael Parks, so I didn't. The connection came later. But
Very nice.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, I picked an actor that can play comedy, play drama, and that was Denzel Washington.
ooh,
Yeah.
another one that's hard to go wrong with.
Yeah.
Pretty hot in the 90s.
Oh, I don't know about that, but okay.
No, I meant as far as, in movies and
Keep
stuff.
digging. Dig.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dig.
He's a good-looking guy.
Right.
But I think this was during his stretch of when he was a pretty hot commodity in movies and stuff.
And in '94, he and Tom Hanks had just done Philadelphia, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was first.
Which he did really well in. I mean, both of them did, but
Yeah.
they were both really good performances.
All right. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, this is where I had John Goodman at.
Cool. He's
Uh-huh.
good in this role, too.
He would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yep. Cool. I had some good choices.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Any bonus picks?
I haven't. I haven't.
Okay.
I have one. Go ahead, Les.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, because I got several.
I went ahead and picked Miss Emily.
Okay.
Since we were there, and I felt like I'd picked a lot of dudes for this movie. I figured this is one that I'm not sure. I think she popped into my head for some other reason recently or something, and I was like, you know what? This would be a fun role for her. I picked Jill St. John.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, she's not as elderly as the implication is for Miss Emily, but you know what? It's still a fun little role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure would be.
Cool.
Very nice.
I like it. For Miss Emily, I had Pippa Scott, an actress from the late 40s, early 50s. And she would have been somebody that could fit in without much of a problem.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now also Cheryl Hughes. Cheryl Hughes was the woman that was abducted and by the vampire. And
was the blood bank?
Huh?
Was she the blood bank?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And she appeared like one or two scenes and then disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked her as for Gina Davis, since the young woman had not been in the movie all that long. I thought that would be a good fit.
Yeah.
Cool.
I also picked Gail Foster, played by Julia Ormond. She was the girlfriend of Kolchak in the movie and then in the first few episodes.
Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one I've got is was it Jairus Scorzini, the vampire?
Mm-hmm. The grunting vampire.
The grunting vampire.
He grunted every time he was on screen. It's like there's no way for him to sneak up on you because he was always.
How was that? Okay, thanks. I just wanted something to make sure we took out of there and put on our website. There I had two choices. I could take somebody that was known. Well, both of them are known, but one is Hugh Grant and the other is James Spader.
Okay, yeah.
I think fitting one of those two in there would be pretty good.
Well, if Hugh Grant would want to deal with any more vampires after Lair of the White Worm, but anyway.
Yeah. I think to fit the tone of my movie, I'd cast Marty Feldman as my vampire.
Wow.
Whoa.
Damn.
Oh, Lord. I'll never get that out of my head now.
What fangs?
Wow. Okay.
Sounds like a fun movie, though, right?
It sounds like an insane movie, but that's all right, too. Nothing wrong with that.
Where can we put Arnold Stang? I'm sure that he's got a part in it, too.
We'll put him in a toll booth if we have to. Just get him in there, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right. Another pretty cool casting call done. Yeah.
I think so.
Another successful job. Another one in the can.
All right. Let's go ahead and take another quick break, and we'll be back with Geek News for you. And we're back. It's time for Geek News for you. In this segment, we bring a couple of news items to the table for discussion. This week, it's Les and myself. And Les, would you go first, please, sir?
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Oh, no, we're not going to let this shit go on long. Holy cow. Thank both of you. Get on with it.
Well, thank you for doing that, Mike.
That was awfully rude.
Good night, everybody.
What I have is a slideshow with some verbiage. Forgotten Cinema, 20 movies that never reached theaters. And this is kind of amusing because it includes things like Superman Lives with Nicolas Cage.
The Tim Burton, yeah.
Star Trek The Academy Years. Justice League Mortal, which is 2008. The Tourist from the 80s. Wonder Woman with Linda Carter in 2005. And others. There are about another 10 or more. So I recommend this. It's a kind of a funny list to look through. And they tell you why these didn't make it to the theater. I'm surprised that the Captain America movie that was had a trailer for during the showing of one of the time travel movies was showing, and I looked at it and went, wow, this looks cool. But now I see it on TV and I go, wow, this is crap. But this list is kind of good because you get some of the backstory as to why it was never decided. So that's what I've got going here.
Okay.
Interesting.
Cool.
I didn't realize there was a Linda Carter Wonder Woman movie in 2005.
That's what they were thinking.
It's an interesting choice and an awfully long time to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. Got some really, really good news here. Just in time for its 50th anniversary, and this news actually came out on the 13th, which was actually the 77th birthday of one Mike Grell, one of my favorite writers, artists.
Yeah.
To celebrate the 50th anniversary, we are going to get Volume 1 of the Warlord Omnibus in 2025. Really? Yes.
Okay.
To be followed by Volume 2, which will complete his full run on the book, which was his own creation. And for those who are not familiar with the concept, this Warlord tells the story of a U.S. spy pilot whose SR-71 is damaged while on a mission over Russia and plunges through an opening at the North Pole into Skataris, the world at the center of the Earth, where creatures from mythology and Earth's ancient past coexist amid fantastic cities and leftovers of the civilization of Atlantis. Travis Morgan's struggle to survive in this savage world is the heroic saga of a modern man in pursuit of his destiny in a land beyond time. And it's funny because I was just thinking last week, I'm like, I would really love for them to do a Warlord Omnibus. And it's like, and then I don't know, I don't remember exactly how I was cued into this, but it's like, oh yeah, great timing.
That's great. Good to hear.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Neat.
It's some really good stuff. Especially the early stuff's awesome. So can't wait to get my hands on it.
This is going to be one of their absolutes, or
no, it's going to be the regular omnibus.
Okay.
So we're probably looking at 40 issues.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'll be looking for that too.
Mm-hmm. Any special shout-outs or mentions this week?
No, I don't think so.
I just want to say that this is the 5th anniversary of DCeased by DC Comics. You can purchase the collection, which is the first 6 issues, plus the aftermath issue. It's really good. It's one of those that is kind of sad as heroes are killed, but it's really well done, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, the name thing is kind of a giveaway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was chuckling there for a second because I was reminded of one of the scam baiters I watch on YouTube, and some of the emails he gets, and one of them was regarding
Camelot 3000.
Well, no. Well, I mean, no. Talking about trying to obtain the money of a rich person who had passed away, and the reason why I was chuckling about it because is when you read the email, and the guy at Scambaiter actually reads it out loud too. Every time the scammer used the word deceased, it was actually spelled disease. So instead of deceased as in passed away, it's disease like an illness. You're going,
Oops.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Some of these scammers, English is like maybe their second or third or
20th language, yeah.
Hey, now 20 languages to learn is a lot.
It is. Rosetta Stone.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. I've not read that, so may have to check that out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our regular shout-outs. Want to thank Pop Goes to Culture for allowing us to be part of a great little network of fellow podcasters. Definitely check them out. There will be a link in the show notes. We also want you to check out the fine men and women who are kind enough to spread the word of the fellowship by reposting our links on Twitter or X, depending on however you want to call it. The best way to check them out is to do a search, #ModernFamily, one word, and just scroll through and hopefully something catches your attention and you check them out. Thank you guys always for your support. Want to thank Manny the Martyr for supplying the music to our podcast. There will be a link in the show notes where you can check out some of their other music as well. And finally, you, dear listener, thank you for downloading, listening to today's episode. We value your feedback. Any comments, questions, suggestions, complaints, observations, what have you, please send them our way. Email at thefellowshipofthegeeks.net is our email address. Or you can go to the website and go to the About Us page, and there's a contact form that you can fill out, and we'll get that. We do have a Discord that you're free to join. We post a lot of news items, stuff for discussion, stuff to laugh at. And, boy, we've posted some good ones here the last few days. Especially the flying cat. I still watch that like 10 times in a row because I'm so amazed at the cat flying over the couch. I'm like, okay.
And the dog's just like, nope.
Well, and the dog's just like, okay, whatever. And we have activities on there, so come join us if you want to hang out with us. Discord is free to sign up. The apps are free in all the app stores, and we do have an open invite on our homepage. Social media, we're on Facebook, the Fellowship of the Geeks. On Instagram and Twitter, we are known as @Fellowship Geeks. If you'd like to follow our personal Twitter accounts, Mike can be found @MikeyGeek. Liz can be found @LN_geek. Les may or may not be found @FakeLesWebster. And I can be found @TomTCGeek. And from wherever you download our episodes, if you would take a couple extra moments to rate and review the show, it would be greatly appreciated. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Just thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, and be sure to have a good time.
Thank you for listening, everybody. We appreciate the support as always. And until next time, geek on, my friends.
We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email at thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook at The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,